Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make a working henchman chest inside of UEFN. And as you can see here, I opened my chest and now it's switched to a custom open static mesh. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to get this custom henchman chest working inside of your own game. And without further ado, let's get started with the tutorial. Alright, so first things first, you're obviously going to want to open up an Unreal project. So I'm just going to go to this random blank one here and I'm just going to open that up. Alright. And as you can see, I got this little astronaut dude in here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that because that's not relevant to our tutorial. Alright, so next you're going to want to click the link in the description that's going to take you to Sketchfab. And you're going to see that we actually have this henchman chest gallery here already prepared for us. So you can see that we got like the Doom chest, we've got some of the Stark chests here, we've got the Ghost and Shadow chests, the IO chest, and then some random, templates here, which I think these were from the Skyfire event. But anyways, you're going to go ahead and download the 3D model, by you clicking on this little download link here. And it's going to say this model is free, which is awesome. And then you can just go to FBX and click download on FBX. And then obviously I've already downloaded these, so I'm not going to download it again. But yeah, you're going to download it. So, alright, so you might be thinking like, well, okay, well I'm already done, right? I can just plop this into UEFN and whatnot. Well, the thing is, these meshes do not include the open mesh. So obviously, if you want to have a working henchman chest in your map, you're going to want the user to be able to open the chest and have it switch to a different mesh, right? You don't want the closed mesh still there after it's already been opened. So what you're going to want to do, if you want to do this, is you're going to go to Blender, search up Blender on your web browser, and then if you don't already have Blender installed, you're going to want to download Blender. And then it's not going to be super hard. You don't have to be super skilled with 3D modeling to get this custom chest mesh. And then after you've installed Blender, just open up Blender. Alright, and then you're going to see this opening page here in Blender, and just click on General, and you're going to open up a default project here, and get rid of this cube by right-clicking and clicking Delete. Alright, and then you're going to go up here where it says File, and then go down to Import, and then go to FBX, and then you're going to see it's going to pull up your file browser here pretty much. So downloads, and then you're going to go to wherever you have your chests saved. So I have a folder called Fortnite chests, Fortnite chest gallery. So here's my folder. It's called Fortnite chest gallery, and you can see here's the source, here's the textures. We want to go into the source, and then this is the actual FBX file we want to import. So import FBX. Alright, you're going to notice here that all of our chests are now in Blender. So these are all of the closed meshes, right? So what you really want to do is you want to just take one of these, pretty much, and I'm just going to move this by clicking G, and then let's just do Y. Let's just move it out a little bit so it's a little bit easier to work with here. And then you're going to go to modeling, alright, and you're going to see here that when you're in modeling mode, you're going to be able to also, sorry, I forgot to mention, use this little thing up here to move around for now, especially if you're not experienced in Blender and you don't really know how to use Blender. Alright, so you're going to notice that we have these little orange lines and dots on the mesh, and that pretty much just means like those are the different parts that make up the mesh, kind of. And if it's orange, that means all of the nodes or points are selected. So just click off to the side, and then you're going to notice it's going to turn black. That means they're not selected, because we really just want to select the top half of the chest here. So here's a quick tip. If you just hold down shift and then you drag, it's going to make this little box, and you can just select the little points a lot faster instead of having to do them all one by one. So it just saves a little bit of time that you don't have to do that. Yeah. And then make sure when you're selecting the points that you hold down shift. Don't let me forget to say that. You're going to hold down shift while selecting the points. Otherwise, yeah, you won't be able to select a multiple. Anyways, when you think you've got a pretty good outline of the lid of your chest, what you're going to want to do next is you're actually going to want to split it. So if you go to mesh, you're going to see here an option to separate. So if you go in modeling mesh, there's an option to separate here by selection. And what this is going to do is all of the little nodes that you actually have selected, it's going to separate that into a separate mesh for the time being. So I'm just going to click selection here. And as you can see, it turned my lid into an actual separate mesh. So what's cool about this is what we can do is we can go back to layout, and you're going to see that we actually have two separate meshes here. We can click on them individually. Obviously one's the rest of the chest and the one is the lid. So next up, you're going to want to go to the transform tab here, which is this little square for the lid, and you're going to want to go to the rotation. And when you just kind of play around with this a bit, you're going to notice, oh, look at the lid is going back. And then you're going to move this up a little bit, so rotation Z. And then pretty much just play around with these rotation settings until you get a pretty decent looking open mesh here, or pretty decent rotation. So I'm just going to, maybe move that up a little bit. No. Also, if you want to undo something, press Control Z. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know that who are trying to do this. It is pretty basic. But yeah, anyways, I think that is pretty decent. So I'm happy with that. I think that's a nice open chest mesh here. Obviously, you might want to spend a little bit more time, but this is just a tutorial. Alright, so you're going to notice that these are still two separate meshes, which is obviously not what we want. So we're actually going to click on the bottom one here, and then press shift, and then click on the top one. Alright, and then you're going to want to right click and press join. And what this is going to do is it's going to convert it to just one mesh. So as you can see here, we don't have two parts, we just have one single mesh here for this open mesh, really. Alright, so next up, if you want to add textures within Blender to see how they're going to look, I do kind of recommend doing this, although you could also just import textures to UEFN, and then you can see how they look in there. But if you want to do it in Blender, what you can do is you can select a material here, and you're going to notice that it's going to give you a bunch of default materials, and this is because these materials were imported when we first imported our meshes. So this is, as you can see here, this is IO chest 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to base color here, and you're going to click on image texture, and then you're going to be able to open up your file browser here and go to downloads, and then find wherever you're saving your Fortnite chest gallery that you downloaded from Blender. Go to textures, and you're going to notice here that we have all of these amazing beautiful textures in here that we can use on our IO chest. So you can pretty much just click any one that you want. I'm going to go with the Stark chest here, just because why not? And you're going to click on open image, and what it's going to do is it's going to assign that texture to that material. And to actually view this, you're going to need to click on one of these little icons up here, viewport shading. Let's just click on this one here, and you're going to notice, oh great, now we've got our custom IO chest, or henchman chest in here that has the Stark logo and everything. So as you can see here, look at the Stark logo there. If you go from above, there's the Stark Industries logo. And then if you want to do that for the for a closed chest too, really easy. Just click on the closed chest, and then go here, go to your material section by clicking on this little sphere, and then change the material to the material that has your texture associated with it. And then as you can see here, mine is MIO Chest 3 that has that Stark Industries texture. And then, oh voila, look, now I have a closed mesh that has that custom texture to it. So, now that we've made our closed chest mesh and our open chest mesh, what we want to do is import these back into UEFN. So select this one here, then press shift and select your other one, your open mesh, and then go up to file, click on export, and then go to FBX. Alright, and then you're going to notice it's going to bring up a little menu here, and I'm just going to call this Stark Chest with 2 T's because I already exported it. But anyways, then you're just going to want to go over here to the settings and limit to selected objects, because if you just export everything, it's going to give you all this junk here, and you don't want that. You could always just delete it, but it's just easier to just do limit to selected objects, and then you can actually just click on export FBX. Alright, and then it's going to save those to your computer. Then if you go back into UEFN, you're going to open up your content drawer, and then go to all my project content. You notice that, oh, we have all this junk in here already. That's great. I'm going to go to import now. Click on import. And then you're going to go to your downloads and find your chest FBX. So as you can see, mine is right here. So I'm going to click on that and click open and import all. And it's going to import the FBX mesh. Just ignore this. It doesn't matter. And then look at this here. So what it's done is we've imported our texture, we've imported our Stark chest, both meshes here, right? And we've also imported our material. What's cool is that we actually didn't import this. Fortnite recognized that we probably needed a material, and it automatically made that material because it just detected that, which is very cool. All right, so then you can pretty much just put out your Stark chest on your island, but you're going to notice something is that the little pivot here, this little thing is called a pivot, is kind of off, and that can be kind of problematic when you're working with the mesh if you don't have your pivot correct. So what you're gonna want to do is just actually grab out both of the chest meshes here, and to fix your pivot, you're gonna go to up here where it says selection mode and change it to modeling. All right, and then open up your modeling menu, and then go to edit pivot. And what you can do is you can edit your pivot. So I have this thing selected here, and I recommend just going to the center of the object. That's the best thing to do. And then just click accept on edit pivot, and you're going to notice here that, oh, now my pivot is actually aligned with the chest, which is great. It's what we want. And then over here, we're going to do the same thing with this open mesh. So go back to modeling, edit pivot, click center, accept. Alright, and now you can see that both chests have the correct pivot position, so it's just easier to work with and whatnot. Alright, so now obviously at the moment, these are just meshes, so these aren't going to be working chests at all. And there are a few different methods that you can use to make these working chests. I'm going to show you guys one way to do it. But first thing, before we actually make these working chests, you're going to notice that, within our material here, it's not double-sided. And that's obviously an issue because we don't want that to just be invisible in game. So to fix that, you're going to go to your content drawer and then click on the material that Fortnite has made for your chest, and then open that up, okay? And then what you're going to want to do is just go down here to where this option is. It says two-sided. You're just going to want to check that and then apply. Alright? And that's it. And then now you can see here when we go to look, oh, it's actually two-sided now and it doesn't look weird on the open mesh. So there you go. That's how to fix that. And now it looks really nice. You've got your custom open chest mesh here. Alright, and to actually make this a functional chest, the first thing you're going to do is search for a switch device, And now I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty about this. I just want to show you guys how to set this up. And be careful that you don't click on the mesh. So this is a static mesh. Don't use that because that's not a device. Scroll down till you see the Fort playset item that says switch. This is actually what we want to put in our world. Alright, and this is the device for the switch. And you're going to see here it's in our world now. Alright, so then open up the details tab on this switch, and then scroll down to use custom mesh. You're going to click this to be true, and you're going to see you're going to have an option to put in a custom on mesh as well as a custom off mesh. So, logically, if your chest has not been searched, it's going to be still, it's going to be the on, right? Because, it hasn't been searched yet. So what you're going to want to do is just search for your custom chest mesh. So I'm going to go take a look at what it's actually called. I'm going to go to my content. So you can see called Stark Chest IO Faction. So you can rename that too if you want. But I'm going to search up here for the onmesh Stark Chest IO Faction here. And look, by the preview, this is the closed one here. So look at that. And now automatically my Switch device now has this static mesh. And then for my off mesh, I'm going to search up Stark open. There you go. Alright. And so you're going to notice that, okay, it switched to that. But what we actually want to do is set the initial state to be on, right? So go to back to the settings and set the initial state to be on. And then your turn off text is going to be search, right? Because this is a chest. Okay. And then, that's pretty much about it for the actual, chest mesh. So this will, in theory, be a working chest. It just won't drop you any loot. Now, let's say you want it to actually drop you loot. What you would have to do is you would have to get an item granter, and you would have to set all of that up. But that's not hard to do. All you would have to do is just connect this to an item granter. So let me search up item granter. And then, you'd do this. You'd go here. But I will show you guys how to set up the granter just because while we're here. So if you go to cycle to random item, because if you're using this for a mini battle royale, you probably want it to be a random item. So we're just going to click on this here. This is a function. Oops, that's not what I want here. There we go. Okay, cool. So cycle a random item, and then what you're going to want to do is search for your Switch device. So switch here. Alright, when the Switch device has been turned off, because when the chest is off, that's when we want to drop our loot. So switch when it's turned off. Alright, and then go back up to your item list here, add an array element, and then you're going to want to go to the item definition here, and then we're going to search up just any weapon. I'm going to go with a tac shotgun here. Tac shotgun. Tactical shotgun. There we go. Perfect. Alright. I'm just going to put 2 items in here so that we have a chance of getting, one or the other. So I'm just going to use the hammer pump shotgun just for testing purposes. Alright. And then you can pretty much just start your game, honestly, and it's going to work. Alright, now one thing I want to point out down here, when you're using the cycle to random item, you're going to have to add a new element for every single Switch device that you have in your map. And now there's actually an easier way to do that so that you don't have to go in here and select every single Switch device. And it's actually using verse. And you can organize your devices. You can organize these chests really easily by just using verse tags. Except, that's going to involve a lot of code. So if you guys do want me to show you how to do that using verse, you can pretty much just leave a comment below, and I will show you guys how to manage your chests, your henchmen chests, and just even your regular chests with verse. Yeah, but I'm not going to show that in this video. So once you have your item granter and your chest, your Switch device all set up, I'm going to get rid of these 2 meshes over here because those are not going to work. But anyways, you can launch a session and test. Alright, so when your session has loaded, you're going to see that we have our henchman chest in here, looking very, very nice. So, you might want to change the interaction time in an actual game. We can always just do that later. For testing purposes, we just have this. So if you just click on E to open it, you're going to notice that, oh, look, it switched our mesh here to the closed mesh. Now, you probably don't want the user to be able to flip between on and off. That's not ideal. But yeah, so there are definitely some things that you might want to change in the item granter as well as the chests here, because you're going to notice that it's also clearing my inventory every time I search the chest, which you don't want to do. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, guys, on how to get a working henchman chest in UEFN. Like I said, you're going to want to change the settings on this, but yeah. Anyways, if you do want me to make a video showing you how to make custom henchman chests, I can also do that. It's actually very easy. If you want to see a video on how to make custom henchman chests, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you also want to see a video about how to manage your chests better in UEFN using Verse, also leave a like and subscribe for that, and let me know in the comments that you want to see that stuff. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and that's really all I got for you, so I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.